the Scottish Highlands, a region of soaring mountains, deep glens and shimmering lochs that stretch as far as the eye can see. This land of stark beauty has captivated hearts and minds for centuries, drawing in those who seek both adventure and solace. Its history is etched into the landscape, a tapestry woven from the lives of generations who have called this place home. The Highlands are more than just a geographical location. They are a symbol of endurance and resilience. They represent a way of life, a culture rich in traditions, and a spirit that has endured through trials and tribulations, standing the test of time. For centuries, the Highlands were a world apart from the Scottish lowlands, isolated by their rugged terrain. The rugged terrain and harsh climate shaped a resilient people who learned to thrive in the face of adversity, fiercely independent and deeply connected to their land, their roots running deep into the soil. The Highlands were a place of myths and legends. Stories of ancient warriors, mystical creatures, and powerful clans echoed through the glens, filling the air with a sense of mystery and wonder. These tales, passed down through generations, instilled a strong sense of identity and belonging in the Highland people, binding them together. The landscape itself was imbued with meaning. Every mountain peak, every rushing river, and every secluded glen held a story, a piece of history, connecting the people to their ancestors and their past, creating a living narrative. The Highlands were and still are a place of immense natural beauty where the scenery takes your breath away. But this beauty is intertwined with a history of both triumph and tragedy, stories of great victories and profound losses. Understanding the Highlands and their people is crucial to comprehending the profound impact of the Highland clearances, a dark chapter in Scottish history that reshaped the land and its inhabitants forever. At the heart of Highland society lay the clan system, a unique and intricate social structure that defined the lives of its people. This intricate social structure shaped every aspect of life for centuries, influencing everything from daily routines to major life events. Imagine a vast family tree, its roots running deep into the soil of the Highlands, intertwining with the land and the people. That's the essence of a clan, a network of kinship both real and imagined, binding people together in a web of mutual support and loyalty. Each clan was led by a chief, a figure of authority and respect, who played a crucial role in maintaining the clan's unity and strength. The chief was more than just a ruler. He was a protector, a judge, and a symbol of the clan's identity, embodying its values and traditions. Loyalty to the clan and obedience to the chief were paramount, forming the bedrock of Highland society. This loyalty was not solely based on blood ties but extended to all members of the clan, creating a sense of belonging and unity. It extended to all members of the clan, fostering a strong sense of community and shared responsibility, where everyone played a part in the clan's well-being. The land, the very lifeblood of the Highlands, was central to the clan system, providing sustenance and a sense of place. Clans held their land communally, believing in shared stewardship rather than individual ownership, which reinforced their collective identity. This approach to land management reflected their deep connection to the environment and their understanding of its importance. Crofting, a system of small-scale subsistence farming, was the mainstay of Highland life, ensuring that families could sustain themselves. Families worked small plots of land, growing oats, barley, and raising livestock, which provided them with the essentials for daily living. This self-sufficient lifestyle fostered a deep respect for the land and its resources, as they understood their survival depended on it. The clan system, with its emphasis on kinship, loyalty, and shared responsibility, created a strong social fabric in the Highlands, binding people together. It was a way of life perfectly adapted to the challenging environment and the values of its people, ensuring their resilience and continuity through the ages. The 18th century brought significant changes to the Highlands, upsetting the traditional way of life that had been sustained for generations. The winds of economic transformation swept across the land, carrying with them the seeds of change and uncertainty. The Jacobite Risings, a series of uprisings aimed at restoring the Stuart monarchy, cast a long shadow over the Highlands, leaving a legacy of conflict and resistance. These rebellions, culminating in the defeat at Culloden in 1746, had a profound impact on the social and economic fabric of the region, altering its course forever. The aftermath of Culloden saw the systematic dismantling of the clan system, a cornerstone of Highland society. The Act of Proscription banned traditional Highland dress and weapons, aiming to suppress Highland culture and identity, stripping the people of their heritage. This period also marked the beginning of a new era in land ownership, where ancient ties to the land were severed. Land, once held communally by clans, became increasingly viewed through the lens of profit and economic potential, changing the landscape of ownership. The rise of sheep farming in the late 18th century proved to be a turning point, reshaping the Highlands. Sheep farming, requiring vast tracts of land and fewer laborers, was seen as a more profitable use of the Highlands, leading to significant changes in land use. This economic shift had devastating consequences for the Highland people, setting the stage for the tragic events of the clearances, where many were forcibly evicted from their homes. The traditional way of life, so deeply intertwined with the land and the clan system, was under threat, facing an uncertain future. The stage was set for a clash of values and a tragic chapter in Scottish history, one that would leave an indelible mark on the Highland people and their culture. Section 4. The clearances begin, a time of loss and displacement. The Highland clearances, a period of forced evictions and displacement that spanned over a century, stand as a stark reminder of the human cost of economic change. Starting in the late 18th century and continuing into the 19th century, the clearances saw the eviction of thousands of Highlanders from their ancestral lands. The motives behind the clearances were complex, driven by a combination of economic and political factors. Landowners, eager to capitalize on the burgeoning sheep farming industry, sought to consolidate their holdings and increase profits. The traditional crofting system, seen as inefficient and unprofitable, was deemed an obstacle to progress. The clearances were carried out with varying degrees of brutality, but the common thread was the forced removal of people from their homes and communities. Some families were given the option to relocate to coastal areas, encouraged to take up fishing or kelp harvesting. However, many were simply evicted with little or no warning, their homes destroyed to prevent their return. The clearances were a time of immense hardship and suffering for the Highland people. Section 5. Tears in the Glens, Human Stories of the Clearances. The human cost of the Highland clearances is immeasurable, etched in the tears of families torn from their homes and the whispers of lost communities. The clearances were not just about land and economics. They were about the destruction of a way of life and the scattering of a people. Imagine a young mother clutching her babe as she watches her home go up in flames, the only life she has ever known reduced to ashes. Imagine an elderly crofter forced to leave the land that his family has worked for generations, his connection to his ancestors severed. These were the realities of the clearances, a time of immense suffering and loss. The stories of the evicted Highlanders are heartbreaking testaments to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. There's the tale of the MacDonalds of Glencoe, evicted from their homes to make way for sheep. Or the MacGregors, a clan declared outlawed for centuries, their name synonymous with persecution and displacement. These stories, passed down through generations, serve as poignant reminders of the human cost of the clearances. Section 6. Voices of Defiance, Resistance to the Clearances. Despite the immense power wielded by the landowners, the Highland people were not passive victims. Acts of resistance, both large and small, sprung up across the Highlands, fueled by a deep sense of injustice and a fierce determination to protect their way of life. Some resisted through legal means, petitioning the government and challenging evictions in court. Others took more direct action, refusing to leave their homes or returning to rebuild after their homes were destroyed. There were instances of organized resistance, like the Battle of the Braes in Skye, where crofters clashed with police officers sent to enforce evictions. However, the forces arrayed against the Highlanders were formidable. The landowners held significant political and economic power, and the legal system often favored their interests. The clearances continued, leaving a legacy of resentment and a deep sense of injustice that still resonates in the Highlands today.